So for 20 years now, Character Options has been making a 5.5-inch scale line of Doctor Who action figures, and for 20 years now, I've been collecting that action figure line. It's my favorite toy line that exists. It's my favorite action figure line, my favorite line of collectibles. And whenever a new actor takes on the role of the Doctor, it's a big moment for me to get the new action figure of the new Doctor in the same line that's been going since I was a kid. And so what I want to do is that after getting a couple figures, I now have one of every numbered Doctor. I have every Doctor who's had a figure, except for Joe Martin, David Bradley, and the Curator version of Tom Baker. Those are the three I'm missing. But I have every numbered Doctor, so I'm not gonna let it make my brain itch too much. But so, I've wanted to do a video like this for a while. I want to review each and every Doctor, specifically Doctor, that I have from this figure line. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm gonna do a tier ranking list because I'm a YouTuber, and so I'm legally obliged to. And by the way, something to know about me going in, I did not talk about articulation at all in any of this video that you're about to watch. I do always prefer an articulated action figure to just like a statue style figure, but I don't really need that much articulation. Like if it moves at the legs and maybe at the knees and the arms and the elbows, that's good enough for me. So I'm not going to go through and test all the different points of articulation the way that you see in other Doctor Who figure reviews, just because that's not something that I particularly care about. So if you're curious about that, definitely go check out other people's reviews of all these figures. But me, I'm pretty much just going to go off what they look like. Alright, so first up, we have William Hartnell. And oh, this is a great figure. So this is one of the later of the classic Doctors that got figures. So it was just New Who. And then they started Classic Who and they had Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker. But the first few Doctors took a little longer. So I still, whenever I look at this, I kind of get I have the sort of sense memory of excitement that I had when they finally did the first Doctor, because I mean he's the first Doctor, he's William Hartnell, and it is a fantastic figure. Honestly, it's a great likeness. It's just perfect. I mean, it's simple. There's nothing. There's no like textures or anything that's blowing me away. But like, it's just a really really solid likeness, and I think this is a really really great figure. I'm gonna show off the accessory, one of the accessories he came with. So this originally came in a Dalek Invasion of Earth set with a black Dalek, and he came with his little walking stick. So let's stick that in his hand. It's a little bendy because they're made of rubber, so they don't stay straight. I could probably stick it under some boiling water and make it a little better, but there he is with his walking stick. Doesn't quite reach the ground, but you get the idea. So yeah, I love this figure, and you know what? We're gonna start strong. This is gonna be an S tier figure. I can't say anything against it, and it still makes me excited to have the first Doctor. I mean, I love the first Doctor. I love William Hartnell and the early episodes. So yeah, this is a great figure, S tier. So now let's do some of the variants that we had. So I actually had this before the one I just showed you. This is the black and white variant of William Hartnell, which is a funny, weird thing to exist. Especially with like they did one of these for William Hartnell and one of these for Patrick Troughton, and they already have mostly black and white outfits, but so it's mainly just this strange ghostly gray face. And let's just have a quick compare of the paint jobs, and it does bring out some of the details in the face in a different way than the color one does, but just in terms of like posing it with other figures, it is a bit strange to have a black and white one. I get it as a fun sort of side variant, but practically there's not a lot of call for it on my shelf. So this one, it's gonna be like a let's say D tier.
Yeah, he's a D tier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, it's fun, but I don't need to save it from the fire. This is my next variant, and the only real difference that you can see is that his pants are not checkered. This is a non-checkered First Doctor. He's also got like a plaid on his waistcoat, where this one just has stripes going down, and it looks like maybe his hair might be painted a little whiter. And I think they've like put some like red around his eyes, or they've like painted his eyes differently. I will say it's a good paint job. I mean, it looks better on the camera than it does in person, honestly, actually. Like, the white looks a little too white in person. It looks a little strange. So yeah, this is the version that came in the 11 Doctors figure set, which, whoa, what a Christmas that was. Just a big box set with all 11 Doctors, new variants on most of them, and some of the ones that I didn't have yet. So that was a great present. But yeah, just having the First Doctor, but without the checkered pants. I mean, I prefer the checkered pants. So yeah, this is also gonna be a D tier. Not like it's an okay. Like if I didn't have this, then this would be an acceptable alternative, and anybody who got the set, I'm sure it's a great First Doctor to have. But I guess I'm going to be doing this tier list in the context of having all the other figures. So because I have this one's also going to be D tier. Next up, we've got, this is the First Doctor as seen in Unearthly Child, and probably a few other episodes that I can't really remember right now where he wears the hat and stuff. Does he wear that in 10th Planet? Maybe. Anyway, he's got his scarf, and he's got his cape, and he's got his hat, which you might be able to see is not perfectly on his head. He's got a bit of an odd ridge there. Maybe I have to have a go at that with some pliers later. But so they haven't. It doesn't look like, anyway. Have they? No, maybe they have. They have re-sculpted the face. It looks like quite similar, but they have had to re-sculpt it to get that top bit where his, that's a little bit different. But so they re-sculpted it to put the hat on, and he's got a different sort of coat torso because his coat is closed up. So this came with the TARDIS. And this is pretty nice too. Like if I didn't have the other one, I had this would be great. But even having them both, this is like a valid alternative to have. I assume other people's might have the hat lower down, so I'm gonna try and ignore the weird ridge on his head in my ranking of it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice figure. I don't like it. I think of this as the iconic look of the Doctor, but the problem that we might find throughout this video is that I feel that about whatever outfit is on the first figure that they made of the Doctor. So this is the iconic look of the First Doctor to me, but it is that because I had this figure mainly. But it is also, it is the outfit that he mostly wore. But this is a cool outfit too. I'm gonna give this a B tier. Yeah, I think this is a B tier figure. It's pretty cool. I like it too. All right, one last First Doctor. This one is special thanks to Dave Bulmer. This is the Richard Hurndall First Doctor, which I was so excited when they announced this. So this is Richard Hurndall, who played the First Doctor in the Five Doctors special anniversary episode, because William Hartnell had sadly passed away by that time. But so they've repainted the outfit to try and make it look as much as possible like the outfit that Richard Hurndall was wearing in that episode, and they've sculpted a new face of Richard Hurndall, who does not particularly look like William Hartnell, but I think he played him. I think he played him well. I'm gonna say that he played the First Doctor well. That's a maybe a controversial take, but like he doesn't resemble William Hartnell, and his performance doesn't resemble William Hartnell, but his performance is still fun, and it was a really it's it's a valid entry in my childhood. A valid Doctor in my childhood is Richard Hurndall's alternate First Doctor. He's still the First Doctor who took part in the Five Doctors. He's still a big part of my childhood. So as a funny oddity Doctor, I really was excited to have this figure. And let's do the side by side. So he also doesn't have the checkered pants, because I guess he didn't have those in the Five Doctors. And there's the face side by side, definitely quite different. Now, in terms of resemblance to Richard Hurndall, it definitely does. Like, it doesn't look like William Hartnell, which is good because you can recognize that it's a Richard Hurndall figure right away. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good likeness. Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna say this is A tier. I'm not gonna give it an S tier, but it's an A tier. I really like this figure, and I really like that they made it. So there you go. There's all the First Doctor figures. We've done the First Doctor. On to the Second Doctor. All right. So here is the first standard Patrick Troughton Second Doctor figure. And again, I think it's pretty good. It's a nice likeness. That looks maybe less like Patrick Troughton than the other one looked like William Hartnell, but it's still recognizable. Yeah, I would say it's not my favorite likeness, but it looks good on the shelf. Got the hair, and the outfit just looks great. I mean, the sort of baggy coat with those enormous pockets is great. The balled up fists gives a good likeness. And the high-waisted pants and the lopsided bow tie. It's all really nice. And yeah, I also remember being excited to have this. I think C tier. I'm gonna give this Second Doctor Patrick Troughton figure C tier. It's pretty good. It's okay. And now we got, again, a black and white version, which, boy, poor ghostly dead Patrick Troughton. And they made his hair look sort of grayer, which is odd, but there he is side by side, and yeah, it's just the same figure, but black and white. And yeah, that's gonna be another D tier. Just it's fun. It's a fun idea, but not a lot of call for it on the shelf. And then finally, this is the variant of the Second Doctor that came in the 11 Doctors set. So slight difference in paint job. Weirdly, he's got like he looks like he has a glossier coat compared to this one, which is a little bit more matte. His shirt is darker blue. His pants are still checkered, but they're sort of a more subtle checkering. And he's got stripes on his thing where this one doesn't. But yeah, it's about the same. And so I'll just give it. See, I think I like this one better, so I'm gonna give this a D tier. This one's below this one. So those are the Second Doctors. There they are. Good old Patty Troughton. I've never called him that in my life. Alright, so I don't remember perfectly, but I think the first John Pertwee that I got was this one. This is the Third Doctor that came in the Sea Devil set, and I think you can probably... I think I've seen people take the cape off, but I have never tried to, because I would be too scared of bending it or breaking it. I like the cape anyway. The cape look is a good look. I would be less interested in having him in just the blue velvet. I like the cape. And so let's have a look at that likeness. It looks sort of like John Pertwee. It's not an ideal likeness, but the hair, like you know it's him because he's got the hair. But yeah, that doesn't especially look like John Pertwee. I think the more recent new head sculpt that they did with the shorter hair, I think that's more recognizable as John Pertwee. But again, you know, it's so small. You put it on the shelf, it looks good. It looks good with the other figures. So I don't really mind that the face sculpt isn't great, but reviewing them all, I do have to say that could be anybody. If he didn't have the hair, that could be anybody. But it's still quite a nice figure. I like it. And it's a fun one to pose with other ones. And it's a nice outfit. I like the blue and red. Ah, dang. B tier. Yeah. Yeah. I think B tier. Almost A tier, but I think I'm going to give it a B tier. Yeah. Next up, this is the Death to the Daleks version So he's got no cape, but he's got a big ol' bow tie, like he had in Three Doctors and in Death to the Daleks. In this one, you can see his leg is kind of bent out to the side. I don't know what's done that, but it means that he poses in kind of a weird pose just because his leg is stuck like that. But that's just mine. So it's the same face sculpt again, and it's just the outfit's different. But it's the outfit from Death to the Daleks, and I quite like Death to the Daleks. It's interesting. I had the figure set for a long time, and I just didn't get around to watching Death to the Daleks. I don't think. Like, I have a very distant memory of maybe watching some of it once when I was little. But I watched it all the way through recently, and it's not a very highly rated by fans Dalek episode, but I really like Death to the Daleks. But yeah, C tier. Like, it's fine. It's fine, but I don't think I like it as much as the Cape one. And then last, we've once again got another 11 Doctor set variant. Here is the green suited John Pertwee. His hand is turned around oddly. There we go. And he's got a brown cape with the sort of reddish-orange trim. Do I know what episode this is from? No, I'm sorry. I don't know when he wore this. But this is just another outfit that he had. And I don't like how it looks as much. So this is gonna be a D tier, sorry. It's just another John Pertwee. So there's my 3 Third Doctors. Next up, ooh, yeah, S tier, sorry, right away, I'm just gonna say S tier right away. Oh, this is Tom Baker, this is, again, I mentioned that this was the first range of classic Doctors that came out was 4, 5, and 6, and I remember the day I got this. Oh, and it was so exciting. I mean, he's Tom Baker, he's the best one, and it's a great figure, great likeness. There he is with his big ol' silly smile, and his floppy hat, and his big ol' floppy scarf, and the turquoise tie. So this is like the look that he had when he first showed up in Robot. Now mine is a little worse for wear. There's some black marks there and on his hand, and one of this is the arm that doesn't twist. You can see a little bit of glue there, because yeah, his arm did break off on the playground once. But it's because I brought him with me because he's Doctor Who. No, I still get that excitement looking at this. This is such a great figure. I love this figure. Now, okay, this also, it came with an extra head, so you can swap out the heads and have the serious-looking, hatless Tom Baker. But and some people I know like having this serious expression. For lots of people who did like animations and fan fiction episodes, it was important to have the Doctor in dramatic moments where he's not just putting on a smiley face. But I like the smiley face. I always pose him with this because it's the good vibes of the 4th Doctor. S tier, great. Here, I'll put on the other head so you can get a look at it. All right, there he is. There he is without. Yeah, he doesn't look as good. It looks very much like the intro when you see Tom Baker come in, but now the hat's better. There he is again. Yeah, great figure. Love this. S tier. And then we've got another 11 Doctors variant. Here he is. So I think this is his Pyramids of Mars outfit, unless I'm mistaken. So with a gray jacket, long gray jacket with a different sort of texture to it. It's a nice texture. And as you'll be able to see, he's got a different serious expression with the hat. So I remember when this came out, this was kind of a big deal for people doing those animations, like I said, to have a serious-faced Tom Baker with the hat. And it's a different serious expression too. Like this one looks very sort of neutral as he appeared in the intro, but he's got the wide eyes going and the high eyebrows. So I think that's a much better likeness. That's an expression that I can remember Tom Baker making with the frown. So it's a nice head sculpt. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, I just generally, and again, it's the same thing as I was saying before. I think of the short red coat as the default Tom Baker look because I had that figure first. But still, the gray coat doesn't do much for me. It's a nice face, it's a nice waistcoat. But, you know, I want to give it B tier just for the face sculpt being quite nice, but I think it's going to be C tier just because, I don't know. Not super into this particular variant of the outfit. I don't like this one as much as the other one. And I like the smiley face on Tom Baker. I do. And that's it. Those are my two Fourth Doctor figures. Alright, next up. So, this is my first Fifth Doctor figure, and as you might be able to tell, he's a little bit worse for wear. He's got some marks on his face. So this is a unfortunately battle-damaged Fifth Doctor. Let's see if I can get his leg back in the right position. So this is, again, like I was very excited when this came out, and especially because I love the Fifth Doctor too. He's great. And because he's, you know, he was in Time Crash, and Time Crash means a lot to me, so I was very excited to get to pose this with my 10th Doctor. And it's a great figure. Like the texture on the sweater is really nice, and the likeness is pretty good. It's pretty good. The only thing is, you know, before I give him the ranking, I'm just going to get out the 11 Doctors set variant, because first instance of the variant in the 11 Doctor set being better, it has the stick of celery, and he didn't have the stick of celery before, which it just feels like it just feels wrong. It feels wrong that he doesn't have the stick of celery, so I'm gonna give this one, you know what, I'm gonna give it an A tier, because the likeness could be a little better. So this is a A tier, not full S tier. But then this one without the stick of celery, I'll knock it down to a C tier, I think. And then my third variant on it is I've got one that's got the hat, and it took years for them to do the hat, so I was very excited when they did it. But let me do this side by side, because I think they messed up the face. The face looks a little weird, a little wonky. I don't know if just like the paint is thicker, or you can see there's a bit of scratch next to his mouth, and it looks like one eye is sort of lopsided, so the face doesn't look as good. There's a little mark there on the brim of the hat, which is annoying. I've tried to wash that off, but it won't come off. But it is cool to have him with the hat, and this is the one that I stand on the shelf because he's got the hat, and I love the hat. But yeah, and presumably that face looks like a little better on other ones, and I've just got one with a weirdly printed eye, but yeah, it doesn't look quite as good. So yeah, this will be a B tier, I guess. I still like that he has the hat. It's still good to have on the shelf. So they're my three Fifth Doctors. A little bit less variance on this one. They've all got the same pants, more or less. I don't have any of the ones with the weird orange pants, and I don't have the Caves of Androzani one with the stain on the jacket. But that's okay. I like what I got. And on to Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor. And this is a pretty lovely figure, I've got to say. I mean, you know, say what you will about the outfit, but having it as a figure is pretty nice, and they've done the detailing really well. Yeah, I think it looks great, and I think that's a pretty good likeness. Yeah, that's a good likeness. That's definitely Colin Baker. I'm quite happy with this figure. I think this is a great little figure. Is it deserving of S tier? You know, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I don't know. It's just, it's a great likeness, and I can still remember the excitement of having him, and the excitement of getting to see him in people's stop motion videos on YouTube. And the detail is great. Yeah. Sorry, it's an S tier. I like it. Not an S tier Doctor, unfortunately, but you know, it's good for audio stories, and so it's good to have a figure to stick on the shelf and look at while you're listening to Davros or Juggernauts or any of the other Sixth Doctor audio stories featuring Davros. Or Jubilee. Have them on the shelf and listen to Jubilee. And next up we've got the blue suit, Colin Baker, and ooh, oh, it looks nice. It looks really nice. So this is from the motion comic webcast Real Time, which I think was made in co-production with Big Finish. So it was basically just like to make it easier to draw the Sixth Doctor. They just simplified his outfit. But it was, very popular because they made up a Sixth Doctor outfit that didn't look quite as silly and loud and garish. And it looks really cool. It looks really nice. And it was really well captured in this figure. I love it. They did later do a lot of Big Finish cover arts. Instead of doing the block blue, they did just tinted pictures of the checkered jacket blue. And so in I think the 12 Doctors figure set, they did that. They had a checkered but all tinted blue outfit. But I like this better. I think this looks better. So yeah, this is another S tier. I think this is a great figure, and I like it better than the other one. But it's just great. I love it. And also good for having, also good to have as a visual accompaniment as you're listening to Big Finish. And then finally we've got this. This is the 11 Doctors figure set variant, and basically he's just got, let me pull him up for the side-by-side because the difference is subtle, but he's got a yellow neck scarf, whatever you call this thing, and he's got the stripy pink, green, and white, and he's got colors on his pocket watch chain, and besides that, it's the same. Face paint application looks a little bit different. He's got more highlight in his eyes, and it looks good. I think it might make him look more like Colin Baker, honestly. It's a pretty good likeness. Yeah, I think this one probably looks more like Colin Baker than this one, but I like this outfit better. So A tier. This is gonna be A tier. It doesn't knock it down all the way. But I really. That does look stupid, the yellow with the checkers on it. But I think the new paint job on the face sculpt brings it up, so yeah, I'm gonna keep it at A tier, sure. Why not? So there you go. Those are my Sixth Doctors. I never know whether to say sixth or sixth. Well, I mean, sixth is normal, sixth is Shakespeare. Now we get to the first Doctor that I only have one figure of, and that is Sylvester McCoy. I've only got this one Seventh Doctor as he appeared in the 11 Doctors set. So this is him in his darker jacket, as opposed to the lighter sort of tan beige jacket. And he doesn't have his hat. The ones that had the hat had a big smile. I think it's not an ideal likeness. It doesn't super look like Sylvester McCoy. But it looks good on the shelf. I think the mold on the body is pretty good, and the paint job is pretty good. I will say I don't like the dark jacket as much as the lighter jacket. And I would prefer the hat, but the face sculpt on the hat is also bad and maybe worse than this one. He's got a very weird looking smile on that figure. But so yeah, I'm gonna give this. Yeah, you know what? It's gotta be a D tier. I'm sorry. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me, besides it being really nice to have a seventh Doctor and to have him on the shelf with the others. But he leaves a little to be desired. Alright, on to Paul McGann. Ooh, okay, so this was a figure that was debuting in the 11 Doctor set. So this was the star of the 11 Doctor set, was the fact that I got to have Paul McGann finally, the 8th Doctor, which actually I've got over here. I really wanted a 8th Doctor figure so much that here is here is my custom Paul McGann figure. So this is the body of the human Dalek Sec from Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks, and I've made this head out of air dry clay, and I've drawn on him. I've tried to make his waistcoat. It's the same picture, but yeah. So very, very exciting figure to have. And personally, I really love the Doctor Who TV movie. It's near and dear to my heart, even in spite of its shortcomings, its significant shortcomings. I think it's a great regeneration story, and I think Paul McGann is great. But the figure, the likeness is not quite there, I don't think. I don't think it really... it looks a little bit like Paul McGann, but it doesn't strike you as Paul McGann. It's really just the hair and the outfit. It's like, it's the 8th Doctor when it's on the shelf, but you look at it closely, and it's not my favorite face sculpt that they've done. So, I guess it's, I am still excited that they made it at all, so I'm gonna keep it at B tier. I'm not gonna bump it all the way down to a C tier, just because the face sculpt isn't great. I'm gonna give it a B tier, because I still am really happy that they made it. And it's very cool and novel still to have the TV movie Doctor as a figure, because it's not often, acknowledged as part of canon. And then, this was exciting. And this one, the Night of the Doctor, 50th anniversary variant of Paul McGann. So let's do a side-by-side and look at him, because they've got a new face sculpt with his shorter hair, and it looks more like Paul McGann. It's still a bit, it's a bit lumpy, but it's at least a bit more recognizable as Paul McGann. And you'll notice this one has the sonic screwdriver in his hand. This is one of my few figures that I keep the sonic screwdriver in the hand. I've got all the screwdrivers. I've got all the accessories. These are just the ones that are from the 10 Doctors set, but you can see I've got all the sonics and the umbrellas and stuff and the recorder, but I just don't bother to put them in their hands all the time. But I keep it for him because I think it's a cool thing to have in his hand. I love this outfit, man. I love... I was so excited when Paul McGann came back for Night of the Doctor, and I just think it's such a cool outfit with the high boots and the waistcoat and the scarf and the big Spike Spiegel collar. It's a great look, and it outdoes his outfit from the TV movie. And I was so excited when they did a figure of it, because I don't know, it's just awesome. And it's awesome that Doctor Who has things like, Real Time and Time Crash and Night of the Doctor that's just a 6-minute short that a lot of people haven't even heard of it. A lot of the people who just watch the episodes as they came out or binge them later on streaming, they don't know about Night of the Doctor, but it's so important and cool. It was when the 8th Doctor came back and did his regeneration finally. So yeah, I even in spite of the face sculpt not being perfect, it's still an S tier figure just because the outfit's so cool and the novelty of it being Night of the Doctor, specifically Paul McGann, is so cool. Yeah, this is an awesome figure. It's really cool to have. I really like it. S tier. So there you go. There's my 2 8th Doctors. Alright, next up, we've got John Hurt, special War Doctor, later inserted in between Paul McGann and Christopher Eccleston. And it does still slightly mess me up that the 9th Doctor is actually the 10th Doctor, and so on and so forth, but they've done more things to do that since, so oh well. But ooh, this is a nice figure. I really love the weathering on the coat and on the rest of him. I think it looks really cool. And it also helps that I got this secondhand. This is I used to get them all new, but this was secondhand from online, so it wasn't. It might not be in good condition. I can't tell because he's got this deliberate weathering. So that's helpful. It's a pretty good likeness. It's good enough. But the main show is just like the general far away shelf look. The outfit looks great. I think it looks really good. And it's really fun to have him on the shelf next to the others. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be an S tier too. It's a really cool figure, and I'm really happy to have it. Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we have the Ninth Doctor, and I'm pretty sure there is no difference between the version that came in the 11 Doctors set and the version that I had as a kid. Except I think this is the one. I think this is the one I had as a kid, and you can see the nose is a little bit scraped off. So let's just look at this one. But this is like, I think my earliest Doctor Who memory at all. Like I can remember episodes that I've seen, but I can't really place memories of watching episodes earlier than I can vividly place the memory of getting my first batch of Doctor Who figures on Christmas or a birthday, probably Christmas, I think. And I got a 9th Doctor and a 10th Doctor, and it was really, really exciting, and it's awesome that they're still, in scale, and they still fit with all the other figures that they've made. And all these years later, it's still a really good likeness of Christopher Eccleston. I think it holds up really well. It looks really great. They've made another head sculpt since, which weirdly I think doesn't look as good as this one does. But yeah, pretty simple, just a leather jacket, but they got the texture of the leather jacket quite nice. Yeah, this is a pretty great figure. I think not quite as exciting as other figures that I have, even as great as the 9th Doctor is and as great as his era is. I mean, it's not the most exciting outfit. So I'm gonna give it an A tier. It's not gonna be full S tier, but it's a great likeness and a great figure of a great Doctor. So there's your Christopher Ecclestons. So next up we've got David Tennant, and here he is. Here's my David Tennant figure. This is the Series 4, I believe, David Tennant, because he's got the red shoes as opposed to the white shoes. And the slightly different suit. I'm not great at telling apart all the different pinstripe suits that he had, but here he is, and the likeness is okay. it's not the best likeness, but this figure is so nostalgic. Like this, David Tennant was the Doctor for so much of my childhood. From the ages of 5 to 9, David Tennant was the Doctor, and so this figure was my sort of main Doctor Who figure for a long time. I mentioned that I got a David Tennant at the same time that I got my first Christopher Eccleston. This is not it. It was actually the Army of Ghosts David Tennant that I had, that had like the sort of Ghostbuster backpack thing in the triangles. And the reason that it's not the one I'm holding right now is that when I was a kid and I got this figure, I decided I didn't need that one anymore. And so this is what he looks like now. This was my effort to make a Peter Cushing because they never made a Peter Cushing Doctor Who. And you can see there's a bit of black under there. Before he was Peter Cushing, he was my custom master. But so yeah, I've cut. It honestly pains me to look at this. I cut the jacket shorter, and I covered him in acrylic paint. So I'm sorry for whatever psychic damage I've dealt showing you that. But anyway, this one, okay. Yeah, it's A tier. A tier. The long jacket made out of the flimsy material. It's nice. The resemblance on the body is great. Resemblance on the head, not as great, but it's good enough for the shelf, and it was good enough for me when I was little. And I really get a lot of nostalgic vibes from this figure. So yeah, he's gonna hang out in A tier. This is the Regeneration 10th Doctor, so David Tennant wearing the 9th Doctor's outfit. He's got a black shirt on. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. It's kind of hard to tell in the lighting in the actual episode. whether it's purple or black. I know they've done Parting the Ways Eccleston figures since with purple shirts, but they've gone for black on this. But so we've got a weird little David Tennant likeness here. It also doesn't super look like him, but it appears to be a different sculpt, is it? Yeah, that's a different sculpt. His hair is falling in a different way, and he's got like a smile, and yeah, nah. This is D tier. That doesn't really look like him. And not a lot of call for a regeneration David Tennant, but there he is anyway. Next variant I have is this. This is, I believe, from the Satan Pit. This is the variant of the Doctor in his astronaut outfit. And I'm going to take off that helmet so we can have a look at this head sculpt, which does look a little bit different. So let's put them side by side. Like, just, yeah, that's different, eh? I can't really fully tell if it's actually a different sculpt. I don't think it is. I think it's just quite a different paint job. And it's hard for me to say if it looks more like David Tennant. I think they both look like a dude. Neither of them is strikingly like David Tennant. But so yeah, I think a lot of people are a fan of specifically the Doctor wearing this orange astronaut outfit, because I know he wore it again as Peter Capaldi. He might have worn it again as Matt Smith or as Jodie Whittaker, maybe? I'm not sure. But doesn't do a whole lot for me. But the helmet is nice. It's a nice bit of bonus content to have a helmet that comes off and on again. I do like that. So, the helmet is cool. He can be B tier. Sure, he can be B tier. It's a cool figure. It's nice. Alright, who we got next? We got this variant that came from the 11 Doctors set. It's the same as the other one, except that it's got a different face sculpt, and it's got glasses, which look a little bit odd. They poke out a little bit from his face. I don't think I can push him back. But as you might be able to tell, he's got the hair a bit spikier, rather than just the sort of more Series 2 flat hair. They've tried to do the quiff. And another new face sculpt, and another that doesn't super look like David Tennant. And the glasses don't look great. But it is hard to do glasses on an action figure, so I can't really begrudge them that. But yeah, other than that, identical to this one. But I wouldn't really have this one on the shelf because the glasses look a bit weird, so feels mean, but D tier. It's not great. The glasses don't really work. I appreciate that they took a shot at it, but nah. And then finally we've got this. This is the battle damaged end of time 10th Doctor. So he's got scars and he's got scratches and he's got, I think, maybe the same head sculpt but without the glasses. Yeah, that's definitely the same head sculpt, huh? So that's what it looks like without the glasses, and nah, that's not David Tennant. But they tried. And this is also the only jacketless David Tennant that I've got. He's got the white shoes, and I don't know, I like battle damage figures in general. I like them with superheroes, battle damage Spider-Man. It's very fun, but not a whole lot of use for it with a Doctor. It's a weird one to have on the shelf. To have a Doctor who's just been beaten and fallen through a glass window, and So, uh, C tier, I think. I'm still quite nostalgic for when it came out because it was the last 10th Doctor figure. I mean, it wasn't in the long run. I actually, I got the 11 Doctors one afterward, but it felt at the time sort of melancholy and momentous to have one last David Tennant figure as he regenerated into the new Doctor, which was so exciting back then. So that's every David Tennant so far. Stay tuned. Which means that next up is the Regeneration 11th Doctor, which also came out with the End of Time figures. So it was that David Tennant, Rassilon, and the Master. And I cannot get across to you how exciting it was to have this figure in 2010. Oh my gosh, it was the next Doctor. We'd been waiting so long, and it had been teased for so long. And I have somewhere around here, I've got the magazine when they announced Matt Smith, and they had all the press photos of him as the new Doctor in the interview in Doctor Who magazine with Matt Smith. But so even before he had an outfit as a Doctor, he had a figure, and that felt really exciting. And it meant that the first adventures that I had with the 11th Doctor weren't on TV. They were in my front yard as I ran around with this action figure. And it's a great likeness. And yeah, just on how exciting I remember it being, having this figure, even though it's not even his real outfit. This is an S tier figure. I love this figure a lot. I think it's really cool, and it makes me very nostalgic. Next up, we've got the first of the two that came in the 11th Hour set. So this is again the David Tennant's outfit, but this is now the jacket's been taken off, and it's as we see him as he's interacting with Amelia Pond. And the face is the same, eh? Like, I always sort of felt that the face felt different when these new figures came out. He looks a little bit more sort of gormless there, but I think that's just the paint application on the eyebrows, maybe. No, it looks the same. I guess it's the mouth. The mouth looks a little bit more sort of pouty. I don't know. So this is the Raggedy Doctor. They did later, when they did a 10th Doctor set, they did a 10th Doctor where he's wearing this, which annoyed me. Which is a very pedantic thing of me to, even though this is his clothes, the fact that they put David Tennant's head on this figure annoyed me because we never saw him on screen wearing his clothes like this. Very pedantic of me, but anyway. I don't know, I think this is my mum's favorite figure. I remember she was really into the whole Raggedy Doctor idea back when the episode came out. But for me, it felt a little bit extraneous to have another post-regeneration Doctor figure after already having one. Like it was, he does spend a lot of the first episode looking like this as he's eating fish fingers and custard and stuff. But I don't know, it wasn't as exciting as the main event, the other figure that came in the set of him in his new outfit. So this'll be a C tier. And then we've got the real outfit, and so one of these is from the 11 Doctors set, but they do look identical, so it doesn't really matter. I think, is there any difference in paint application? I think the face looks like slightly different, but not in any really significant way. They did make, I think, they released this sort of like, they did this back in the day where you either got the red bow tie and the red stripes on the shirt, or the blue bow tie and the blue stripes on the shirt, but I never got the blue bow tie. But oh well, red's kind of better. But yeah, so this, I remember at the time, this was the first one where they had Matt Smith into character options to do a 3D scan of his face. And I think it shows, like it is a great, really, really great likeness of Matt Smith. And the detail on the tweed if you can see that, it's so intricate all down the back, and it feels awesome. The sort of rubbery material that it's made out of, it looks great, it feels great. I think this is like one of the best Doctor Who figures they ever made. This is absolutely an S tier. It's fantastic. And I mean, it's the best that the 11th Doctor ever looked. The more they changed his outfit over time, it never quite recaptured how great this was as a new Doctor outfit, and how great his hair was. So yeah, this is an S tier figure, absolutely. And that concludes my 11th Doctors. So on to the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. I've only got this one, and I got this today. I've been waiting till this arrived in the mail to start filming this video. So this is, I believe, specifically the outfit he wore in The Witch's Familiar, because he's got the hoodie and he's got the checkered pants and the white t-shirt, which I don't think, I don't think it's a great Doctor outfit, but I think it might be the best 12th Doctor outfit just because it's the one that's the most interesting. I find all the kind of the ones that are just jackets and button shirts a bit generic and forgettable, but this was when it felt like the 12th Doctor finally had an outfit that matched his personality. So the likeness is this is another thing. It's not an amazing likeness, but it is miles better than a lot of the figures they've made up till then. I remember as the 12th Doctor figures were coming out, it felt like he was cursed. Like he might not ever get a figure that was worth owning because all the faces just look terrible. But this one looks, good enough to put on the shelf. The hair is a bit dark compared to what his hair looks like. But, it looks like Peter Capaldi. The only problem with this figure, well, one is that he has trouble standing, but he is incredibly tall. Let me find... Here's Tom Baker. So Tom Baker was, 6 feet tall, 6 feet something. He is shorter than Peter Capaldi. Let's put him next to Matt Smith. Matt Smith is quite tall. But he looks really short next to Peter Capaldi. So they've made him too tall, which is too bad. But it's gonna make him look a little bit silly on the shelf. But on his own, it looks like Peter Capaldi. I'll give it a B tier. Still pretty neat. Next up, we've got 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. Ooh, this is a good figure. I don't know, this is just like the likeness for the outfit and the likeness for the face. It's great. It's really great. And it like after all those terrible 12th Doctor figures and during Matt Smith's era, for a while their character options switched away from doing 5.5 inch scale figures and only did 3.75 inch scale figures. So that was that felt disastrous to me because I'd been collecting these for so long. So when this came out, it was like, even though I was kind of having a hard time with Doctor Who around this time, this is a really lovely figure and a really well-made figure, and it's really great. And I'm warm into Jodie Whittaker. I mean, I think Flux was really good. I think Eve of the Daleks is a great episode. Power of the Doctor was good, and her return in the Reality War was incredible. I loved that. I mean, they did Time Crash too with Judy and Jodie. It was great. And obviously now the Big Finish episodes are rolling out. The first one, as I'm recording this, has just come out, and it was great. So yeah, I love this figure. This is gonna be another S tier. This is great. I love this one. And now we've got the 14th Doctor. So I got this one fairly recently because the Starbeast set has only come out fairly recently. I held off. I didn't get the Regeneration figure set that came with him in the jacket, partly because the face sculpt looked really bad, and partly because it's still really expensive to get that figure. It would cost me like 70 Canadian dollars, 75 So I'm not going to do that for a figure that doesn't look great. And the jacket on the shoulders looks really wide, so that figure I couldn't justify getting. But I got this immediately the morning that they announced this, because it came with this, which was exactly what I wanted. I wanted a figure of the 14th Doctor without the jacket, and I wanted a figure with a new redone face and with Beep the Meep. And whoo, they did it. They did exactly what I wanted. But so this is the 14th Doctor, and I think this is the best David Tennant face that we've gotten on a figure so far. It's still, it is the same face sculpt as was on the other figure, and so all they've really redone is that they've recast it, and they've done like a different paint application method, but it really brings out the nice detail. And it looks better from some angles than it does from others, but I'm happy with it. I think it looks great, and I loved the 14th Doctor specials so much. And I wanted it without the jacket, just because I think the outfit kind of looks better without the long jacket, and they've done it really nice. The checkering on it is really nice. I don't know. I think this is gonna be an. I'm reluctant to give it a full S tier. I think, just for now, it might grow on me. I might want to upgrade it to an S tier sometime down the line, but I'm feeling like I'm still, coasting on the excitement of having just got it fairly recently. So I feel like I would be overzealous to give it an S tier right away. But I do like it a lot. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give it an A tier. I think I'm gonna give it like top of A tier. But I'm really happy with it, and I'm happy to have a 14th Doctor because I loved those episodes so much. And then finally we've got the 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. What an awesome figure. I think the likeness is fantastic. I think this might be the best likeness that they've ever done. I think it looks really great. The outfit is great. This is the Vortex edition, which means I ordered it online as opposed to getting the retail version, which I also would have got online because I'm Canadian, but whatever. What it means is that it's the Church on Ruby Road outfit with the brighter blue pants and the orange shirt, as opposed to the Space Babies outfit, which has darker pants and a light blue shirt. But anyway, what a great figure. The texture on the jacket, on the leather, is really great. I love that. The detail is great. The outfit is great. It's a great outfit. The Doctor is great. Ncuti Gatwa was such a good Doctor. I'm really sad that he's done already, but he was so extraordinary while he was doing it. And this is a really great figure. My only gripe with it is that mine doesn't stand very well. I think the feet were placed on at a slightly weird angle, so he has trouble standing up. But I'm going to assume that that's just a quirk of mine, and that's not what they're all going to be like. So this is still S tier figure. It's great. I love this figure. So there you go. That's all of them. That is my review of every Doctor figure that has ever been made by Character Options that I own. Not all of them, because I don't have every Doctor they've ever made, but I have one of every numbered Doctor, and so I can rest easy that I have. God, how many is this? I've gone through so many figures in this video. But I really love this toy line. I love these figures. And I'm really glad that they're still making them all these years later. I think it's really cool. So yeah, there's one of the things about me now. I do love collecting these figures. So thank you for watching. Let me know which of these figures is your favorite. Do you have a favorite Doctor figure that you have? Do you collect these as well? Or are you new to this? Are you just seeing from an outside perspective what the world of Doctor Who figures is like? Let me know what you think. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, watch other stuff if you want. You don't have to, but it would help out my channel if you do. So give me a like, give me a comment, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you another time. Bye.